Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to this week's team builder for the UCL. I of course am pokeaimMD, coach of the Bronx Beartics, and today we are building for Twit, coach of the Grand Canyon Greninjas. Now, Twit has a very scary OU lineup of Skarmory, Mega Charizard X, and Superior. Those three in general are just so good, whether it be in draft format or in OU. I hear some people saying, or I saw some people say, like on Twitter before, just in general, that Mega Charizard X is bad in draft format. I don't understand how something with Tough Claws, base 100 speed, and access to a boosting move, and 2 powerful stabs can be bad. But that's just my opinion. Honestly, that's just my opinion. Yeah, any rock type can check it. I'm just talking just to talk, by the way. Yeah, any rock type can check it, but Charizard can run Will-O-Wisp. Charizard can run HP Grass if it wants to deal with Pokemon like Rhyperior and in my case Rhydon. So definitely a scary Pokemon, and even a boosted Earthquake is a 2-hit KO unless I'm running like full physical defense, and Tough Claws boosted Outrage is a 2-hit KO as well, again unless I'm running like fully physically defensive, and even then it's close to a 2-hit KO if not a 2-hit KO. But I built this week with my boy Tony Flyon, so big shout outs to him. And if you guys are new to how I do these videos, basically or even how I make the teams, basically we create a team of 6 that can take on any combination of 6 that my opponent wants to bring, even if the most likely threats are Conkeldurr, Superior, Mega Charizard X, Skarmory, maybe Blissey, maybe Jolteon. Even if those are like the most likely threats, we still try and build a team of 6 that can deal with any variation, just because we don't want to die to something. If I don't prep for Combine and Aromatisse, I don't want to lose to it because of that. So let's just get right into the team this week. First off, we have Beatdown, my Kyurem Black, but we Beatdown. Oh, by the way, guys, the Cypher is going to be out tomorrow. I know you're all hype. I know a lot of people are hype. I'm getting tagged on Twitter. I appreciate that. Hopefully, I don't let you down. If I do let you down, that doesn't matter. There's other people on the Cypher that you already expected to do better than me anyway, so it'll be fine. But we got my Kyurem Black. This set, Sub Roost Ice Beam Toxic defeats his entire team. Toxic beats Blissey. Toxic beats Jellicent, wears down Mesprit, and everything else is hit for either a 2-hit KO or an OHKO by the Ice Beam. The only Pokemon that's probably not 2-hit KO'd by Ice Beam is Conkeldurr, and that's only if it's a Salt Vest variant. Everything else is 2-hit KO'd by an Ice Beam. Mesprit is 2-hit KO'd by Ice Beam plus Toxic. If it's offensive, it is 2-hit KO'd by Ice Beam. Jolteon 2-hit KO'd, Sableye can be 2-hit KO'd, and of course, Blissey is worn down by Toxic and by Sub Roosting. I do have enough HP, that way Blissey cannot break my substitute with the Seismic Toss. Also, Jolteon cannot break my sub unless it is Specs with the HP Ice. I'm pretty sure regular HP Ice does not break my sub, if I'm not mistaken. Max special attack, that way we can 2-hit KO Skarmory and pretty much just have the best damage output. While we are Timid Nature though, that way we will be faster than Adamant Mega Charizard X. He should bring Jolly to Mega Charizard X just because I have this Pokemon, just because Big Black Kyurem, my Beatdown, is a Pokemon that I can bring on the team. He definitely should bring Jolly Charizard X. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but in case he doesn't, this outspeeds everything. This outspeeds Timid Mesprit, and then there's obviously Pokemon that already outspeed me that I can't touch no matter how fast I go, unless I'm Choice Scarf, which would be Superior and Jolteon. They already outspeed me. But again, this can take a Dragon Pulse as well, plus 2 Dragon Pulse. Let's Life Orb. And again, this has a lot of potential versus his team. It deals with Sand Slash, can beat Mesprit, Dedane. It can Toxic and Ice Beam stall Aromatisse. Again, Toxic, wear down Jellicent so it dies. Jolteon isn't touching me. Sableye is Toxic and worn down by Ice Beam. Blissey is worn down. Conkeldurr, again, if it's a Assault Vest, it only takes about 30-40% from Ice Beam, but otherwise I can beat it, potentially. And obviously Superior is going to go down to the Ice Beam, and Charizard is 2-hit KO'd, and Skarmory is 2-hit KO'd. So next up we have my boy Aim. This week he is coming off the bench once again. The Rhydon, aiming for the horn. That's what Rhydon lost. Now, this Rhydon is, I think, very important in this battle because Mega Charizard X can definitely be an issue. And also, he doesn't have a good ground resist outside of Skarmory, right? But Rhydon does not care about Skarmory. Best thing he could do is probably Toxic it, maybe Iron Head it for like, what, 13%? But with an Violet, this thing is super bulky. You can take on Zard X, which is mainly what I wanted it for, to be able to knock it out with the Earthquake. After taking maybe Flare Blitz, maybe +1 Outrage, +1 Earthquake of its own. And essentially, the SPDF is there that way we can deal with Jolteon, but really SPDF wasn't necessarily needed in this game because the Pokemon that hit me with special moves, Jellicent, Superior, I don't want to take hits from anyway. However, Stealth Rock Rhydon, we definitely needed Stealth Rock. It got the 25% off on Zardex, that way my Earthquake 100% knocks it out. I think the Earthquake roll is like 95 maybe percent that I do min with this Earthquake, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 90 to like 1 something or a little bit more, I'm not sure at the moment off the top of my head, but this Earthquake just hits so hard. Stealth Rock is mainly there just to chip away at Zardex, also get a few KOs on Mesprit. For example, offensive Mesprit with Stealth Rock up, Surf 100% kills from +3 mana fee, though I mean Surf has a really high chance to kill it anyway at +3. We ran Swords Dance because his main switch into this thing is Skarmory, and with Swords Dance Fire Punch we are a 2-hit KO on the most physically defensive Skarmories with this attack investment, and at that again Earthquake is just gonna be so powerful, and we had a little bit of extra speed EVs to left over, so I just put them in speed. We didn't necessarily need them, they didn't go anywhere else, but the defense is just enough to take on Zard X. I could have made it even bulkier, but we did want to be able to check Jolteon as well. I didn't want that thing to be volt switching, and as you can see I do have 2 ground types on the team. Obviously I brought Rhydon, and then you also saw that I have Flagon. Now if Jolteon is running HP Ice, then Rhydon does not care, it's taking like 30% from it, maybe max, whereas Flagon obviously is going down, but between this he can't have a hidden power that deals with both my ground types. That's why I wanted Rhydon as well. Unfortunately Rhydon doesn't have the best ability to abuse in this game. Honestly Rhydon needs a new ability. It needs Lightning Rod's pretty good in doubles, but it needs Solid Rock like its evolution to be even better, obviously. But Earthquake, Fire Punch, the main stabs. Also pick Fire Punch because not only does that hit Skarmory, but that also does not allow Superior to come in for free on this thing. Fire Punch is a 2-hit KO on Superior, and again, Swords Dance Earthquake can deal with Calm Mind and Aromatisse because we do have a bit of the SPDF bulk, and obviously a Violet is boosting me even more. Next up, we have my boy Hard Body. Now, I am very paranoid about losing to Superior. The thing about Superior is it beats its counters after it goes for a Leaf Storm. Something that would not be 2-hit KO'd by the first Leaf Storm is getting knocked out by the second Leaf Storm because of obviously the contrary boosting its special attack times 2. So we brought Greninjas this time. This Greninjas is very different than normal. This Greninjas can take a +4, or is it +2 Leaf Storm? I know I can definitely take a +2 Leaf Storm. Let me just calc this real quick because I actually forgot the top of my head. I'm pretty sure this Greninjas can take... Where's my calc? Calc. Open. We're going to do some live calcs right here. Actually, I think I have the team in. Greninjas. Hard Body. Yep. Superior. All-out attacker. Alright, well, let's put you at level 50. Calm down. We can take a +2 Leaf Storm is what I was trying to say. Yeah, we can take a +2 Life Orb Leaf Storm. +4 would be a little bit crazy, but we can take a +2 Life Orb Leaf Storm. As you can see, +2 Life Orb Leaf Storm, well, let me show you the calc, does 83 to 98%, and we do have the T-Wave on it. Actually, Greninjas has so much potential to beat him just because it is Calm Mind T-Wave. That stops Mega Charizard I'm setting up, that stops Skarmory, that can beat down Blissey. Blissey can Toxic Thunder Wave me, obviously, but if we Thunder Wave that, we can beat it 1v1. Also crippling Mesprit. Thunder Wave, you already know what Thunder Wave does. And he doesn't have a good Psychic Resist on his team outside of Sableye and Skarmory. And obviously, I'm not going to be using this to deal with Sableye. But if I do Toxic Sableye or even wear it down with the team, Greninjas just has that much of an easier time beating it. We have a Cobra Berry because I want to be able to switch into Conkeldurr easier. Obviously, I'm not Bold Nature. I'm running Calm this week, so I can take on Superior better. And that means that Conkeldurr can be more of that. That means that Zard X does hit a little bit harder than I would like it to, but with the Cobra Berry we can take a knockoff, we could just recover, and then his knockoff won't be doing as much damage every single turn, and I can Calm Mind up and Psychic beat them. Psychic just hits harder than Psyshock, which is why I wanted it. It hits Zardex harder, it hits Superior hard, it hits Conkeldurr hard unless it's Assault Vest, but even then, if it's bulk up Conkeldurr, I would much rather have Psychic, you know? So it's just an attack that can hit hard and doesn't allow for free switches. Next up, we have Fizz, my Flygon. Now, Choice Scarf Flygon, we couldn't really risk going with any funky EV spreads. Oh, let me talk about my EV spread a little bit more. This is mainly just for avoid the 2-hit KO or avoid the OHKO from +2 Life Orb Leaf Storm, right? But the 12 special attack means that I can 2-hit KO Blissey at +6. That's the main thing right there. Alright, back to the next Pokemon. I wanted to mention that. Next up, we have my Choice Scarf Flagon. Now, I couldn't afford to go any funky spreads this week. I had to go Max Speed Jolly because that speed ties at the very least with Mega Charizard X. This also outspeeds his entire team, unless he's running like Quick Feet Jolteon or Scarf Jolteon or Scarf Superior. Scarf Superior would be a little bit annoying, but it can be dealt with because it only has 8 moves that it can spam, and it's locked into that, and then Beatdown could beat it if it's locked into that. But, we want to defog this week because he does have access to spikes on his Skarmory, so that could be a little bit annoying. U-Turn is doing over half to Superior while also damaging Mesprit. And Earthquake hits Conkeldurr decently hard, deals with Jellicent, does decent damage to Aromatisse depending after a little bit of hazard damage and some status running around. And Outrage actually can clean up late game if I'm able to get rid of potentially Dedane or Skarmory or weaken Skarmory severely. I can potentially clean up with Outrage, which is why I wanted to bring it. It just gives me another backup check to Zard X as well as Superior. They're both very scary, which is why I have Rhydon, I have Thunder Wave on Reuniclus, and now I have Scarf Flagon just to be able to deal with that. And obviously just max attack and speed. I needed to be able to speed tie with Charizard, like I said, at the very least. Next up, we have the captain of the Bronx Beartics, Manaphy. Very offensive Manaphy this week. This has the best shot of doing work because Reuniclus 100% deals with Blissey. I guess if it Thunder Waves me and Seismic Tosses me and I get full pair like 40 times in a row, yes, I can lose. Not even 40, like 5 times in a row, I can lose, yeah. Especially because I lack Leftovers recovery. But Manaphy deals with the majority of his team. At +3, Surf can knock out offensive Mesprit. I think it does like 90-something, like maybe 98, 99% min, maybe 97, around there. +3 Surf. Energy Ball deals with Jellicent. It's only there for Jellicent, and then we have Ice Beam for Superior. We're running the Rindo Berry. That way, at the very least, we can take 1 Leaf Storm from Superior. Like if I set up a Tail Glow, I can go for Leaf Storm from there, and excuse me, he can go for Leaf Storm. I can tank that, and then I can knock him out with the +3 Ice Beam. I opted for max speed because, again, Charizard is so much of a threat. I don't want to risk losing a speed tie, or at least give him the opportunity to not even have a speed tie. Pretty much just give him the chance to set up and knock me out. Though Manaphy is just bulky in general, so it won't go down to any one move. Unless it's like +1 Outrage or +2 Dragon Claw. But, yeah, basically Surf is there over Scald this week just for the added power. +2 Surf knocking out Charizard. It's doing a lot to Assault Vest Conkeldurr. It is a solid 2 KO. It also has the chance to knock out Mesprit, like I said. And again, we deal with Sand Slash. So Dane isn't too much of an issue just because it's a little bit weak. So between Rhydon, even though it does have Grass Knot, and between Reuniclus, we should be okay with that. And Scarf Flagon. And again, the Rindo Berry is just so I can take a Leaf Storm if necessary. And Energy Ball, as I said, is only there. Wow, my voice wasn't even cracking. I was just like, ooh, I need water. Energy Ball is only there for Jellicent. Jellicent can be a little bit of an issue. But I mean, again, if I Toxic it with Beat Down, if I Thunder Wave it with my Reuniclus, we can deal with it easier. And this is a Pokemon that can also switch in on Jellicent because it doesn't really care unless it's like Will-O-Wisp Hex, and even then it's not knocking it out. Energy Ball isn't doing too much either from a non-defensive Jellicent, and he kind of has to bring a defensive Jellicent if he brings it, I think, so I can better switch into my Kyurem's Ice Beams, so he can take Rhydon's Earthquake, so he can take on Manaphy's Energy Ball, excuse me. But this Manaphy, again, has a lot of potential versus him. Depending on what he brings. If he doesn't bring Blissey at all, this Manaphy does have a ton of potential versus him. I can just set up and go. Next up and last member of the team, we have my boy CBB, the Snorlax. And this week, we're not running Thick Fast Snorlax. You would think we would be running it because he does have Superior, Mega Charizard X Flare Blitz. But I really, again, am paranoid about Mega Charizard X. I'm paranoid about Superior. Those are the biggest threats on the team. Obviously, Conkeldurr is a huge threat. Sheer Force Conkeldurr is a huge threat. Reuniclus, thankfully, is not 2 KO by that. And the defensive sets, as long as I don't give him Guts, we're not 2 KO by Knockoff. And I obviously have the Cobra Berry to deal with it, right? But Zardex, Superior can be an issue. That's why we have this Snorlax. This Snorlax is a very, very odd set with Fire Blast, Earthquake, Toxic, and Body Slam. Enough special attack to 2 KO Skarmory. Earthquake is there because it hits Megazard X harder, as well as it can hit Jolteon for the KO, as well as hitting Sableye, and also just doing a little bit of damage to Jellicent. We have Toxic because if Jellicent wants to come in on Snorlax, it should be his initial switching. If I show Fire Blast, that way Skarmory can't come in, we can wear that thing down, and that will allow Calm Mind, Hard Body to beat that. And the Body Slam is just spammable because it can get Paras. Now, we do have a Custap Berry with Gluttony. What Gluttony does is it means that berries will activate at an earlier time than normal. So basically, if I'm at half HP or less, I don't have to be at in the red or in a pinch. Not even in the red, but in a pinch for that to activate. But basically, if I'm at half, Oh wait, no, I didn't have earthquake. Excuse me, I had self-destruct. Sorry about that. I had self-destruct. Someone told me that self-destruct wasn't possible, but then it is possible, and then they passed me the mod. So I have self-destruct. Sorry about that. Self-destruct is because I can Oko Zard X. My boy CBB just blasting his chunks everywhere. Snorlax chunks everywhere. That Mega Charizard X did not know what was coming. But hopefully I can either blow up on Superior or on Zardex. Basically, what I can do with this thing is I can play it in a way that if it comes in on Stealth Rock enough or on weaker special attacking moves, like I can literally throw this in versus Jolteon, Specs, Volt Switch, take about 30% from that, switch out, come back in, take rocks, and maybe be in range of my 50%. That way I can get my Custap Berry activating that turn. If you're not aware what Custap Berry does, basically it lets me move first. I have priority to move first. Unless somebody else is going for a priority move and they're faster than me, I will go first that turn. And again, just max attack and the rest in HP. That way we can just tank hits from Superior better. With this spread, what Superior does, if I switch in on Superior to one Leaf Storm, if it's not Life Form, I can take that and then I can take a second Leaf Storm, depending on if I get a little bit of damage on it, knock it out, and then I'll have my Custap Berry after that. And whatever comes in after, I can self-destruct on, assuming it's not like Jellicent, Skarmory, or like Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr, if it has Mach Punch, can pick me off at that range and it is faster than me. But again, this is just a mon that just has potential to check so much on his team, so many of the threats that he does have, and I'm excited to use this Pokemon. Hopefully it goes well. It also can check Mesprit special attack, weaker special attacks, and again, Toxic is just nice for Jellicent, and mainly also supports beatdown, putting in work. But that's going to be it for you know, this week's team. I hope you guys are hyped. The battle goes up on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, if I am not mistaken. It should be at 2 p.m. If it's at 4 p.m., I'll let you know. But it should be at 2 p.m. Eastern, because I believe the MBL goes up at 4 p.m. for me. But in any case, guys, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, do your thing. And, yeah, bye, friends.